Hi, welcome to this episode where I'm going to talk to you today about something that has been completely driving me crazy, and it is Vinted Pro and the fact that I am now leaving Vinted and I'm going to give up the biggest proportion of my income. And I want to explain to you exactly why. There's been lots and lots of fabulous support on Instagram. I'm so chuffed about that. But it is also something that I want to be just really cautious about. I am not saying that you should leave Vinted or leave Vinted Pro. This is a completely personal decision, but one that Mark and I have thought long and hard about and are prepared to take. And I just want to give you, though, however, a big heads up warning in case you are thinking about going to Pro or have gone to Pro or are still on your personal account and you're making quite a lot of sales, because I'm just going to talk you through exactly what has happened to me and give you the tips and advice that I would give myself if I were to start all of this again. So back in July, I had some listings flagged and removed or hidden by Vinted. It started off with one, just a random brass platter, and it said, "This is a commercial listing, we have hidden it, you need to remove this listing or we will look at closing your account. The only way around this is to go to Vinted Pro." Right, so I was like, right, okay. So at that point, I just removed the listing because I thought that's really weird. And I just thought maybe somebody a little bit spiteful has reported me for selling on a personal account. Right, that's a possibility, but I wasn't bothered. I can't, I've no time for any of that. I don't care. There are millions of people doing that, so whatever. Anyway, I just removed it. About 2 weeks later, I had another one of these commercial hidden listings happen. And then I had another 2 or 3 in the same week. And I thought there's like something happening. The bots are now onto me. And I was getting this wave of, we're going to close your account or you need to convert to Pro. So of course, I genuinely wasn't concerned about converting to Pro because it doesn't cost anything. So I thought. And I thought, okay, fair enough. That's going to be quite a sensible move because I am now much more of a business. Obviously, I do a tax return. I declare everything. There's nothing to hide. I'll go to Pro. But I did have a choice at the time of whether to convert my existing account to Pro or to start another account as Pro and keep mine as a personal. But I didn't want to be moving all my listings over to a new account. And for me, because my personal account had these bots then flagging me up and taking listings down, it made sense to convert that to Pro to prove to the bots almost that I've done as you've asked, I've converted it. There were other advantages of converting my existing account to Pro, which were I kept all of my reviews, kept my username, and kept all of my followers, like 300 odd, 400 followers on Vinted. Which is an advantage because if you have followers on Vinted, they get notified when you upload new items and so on. So I was very keen to protect all of that as a business interest and to be above board with Vinted and to do it all properly. I'm not trying to open another account and then carry on selling commercially on my personal account. I was actually saying, I'm going to do it properly. That's great. Help me, Vinted. No problem at all. So I did do all of that. I decided to send in the documents, apply to convert my account to a Pro account, and then not bother with a personal account, because the other downfall is if you do run 2 accounts on Vinted, a personal and a Pro, which is allowed, you need to have 2 mobile phone numbers. So you need to either have a SIM and switch it about, well, whatever. I thought I can't be bothered with any of that. I'm just going to run my Pro account and sell my stuff. I'm a business. Easy, right? So you would think. No, it wasn't easy. They wanted then my passport or driving license, and then they wanted all your tax documents. Now, I always do my tax return really early. So in July, August, I had my tax return ready and I sent it all in and it got rejected as ID. Now, they have this thing where, because they're based in, it's like Mangopay that does all the check-in and ID, and they're the payment provider, and I think they are based in Luxembourg. Now, they don't seem to recognise UK sole traders. A lot of their blurb, they are asking for company documents like articles of association or registration of your company, etc, etc. I'm not a company, I'm a sole trader. All I have is a tax return, a self-assessment tax return. Then I saw a brilliant video on YouTube. I think it's a guy called Car Boot Chris. He had the similar problem, and he said, make sure that you combine your tax return with your national insurance number letter, which is available in HMRC, and your tax summary document, which is also available in HMRC. You can only upload one document, so I combined all three of them into one PDF and I uploaded it. But this took me a number of weeks, and it took a lot of to-ing and fro-in and checking. And you have to now bear in mind that when you are converting to Pro, you have to put your account in holiday mode. So you cannot sell anything. So throughout the whole of August, I did not sell a thing on Vinted. Literally gone. My income whipped away overnight. Really difficult. And I spoke about this in another video. Facebook Marketplace is what propped us up. Like, literally was brilliant. Summer in August. Facebook is very buoyant in the summer. So it was okay for me because I had a backup plan. Anyway, that all went through eventually. So by September, I was like, great, I'm going to hit the ground running. I'm going to go again on Vinted Pro. All up and running, no problems. Started to list things again and noticed that it was very quiet. I did not really get any views, didn't get any favourites. This was like everything had dried up. It was really concerning. And I contacted a lady on Instagram called Sarah, who runs Vinted Pro really, really successfully. And she said she spotlights every week and she bumps occasionally. So I thought, right. And when I found in the T&C that it actually tells you that Vinted Pro accounts are not prioritised in the algorithm and private sellers are put first, then I thought, yeah, that's it. They want you to pay to get spotlighted so that your stuff gets seen. Now, that is written in black and white. So if somebody was searching for an exactly the same, I don't know, a jumper like this, the same jumper, Frank Usher, sweater, same description, same keywords in the title, the private sellers would come above. Now that's okay, I have no problem. I don't want to penalise anybody, private sellers or pro sellers. But you've made me do this and now you're not going to show my listings unless I pay, because you obviously think, excuse me, being a business, I've got loads of spare cash and I can spend it all on marketing. It's not the case, is it? We're doing this to earn extra income, but it doesn't mean we're suddenly raking it in and we're making thousands and thousands of pounds every month and we can afford to do this. But I did it because I knew it was the only way I was going to get my account kick started. And that happened then through the whole of September and October. I spotlighted and I bumped and my account got traction and it was doing fine. I was almost back to where I was before, but now I'm paying out. And in in October, I paid out £75 worth of spotlight and bump. That is not a small amount of money. I was selling a lot and I was selling higher price stuff, and I've spoken in other videos about my pricing strategies. So it wasn't a disaster, but when I sat down and did my money at the end of the month and I thought, this is like a huge amount of money. This is, if I spend £75 a month on spotlights and bumps over a year, that's like £900, right? That's a lot of money in Vinted's pocket. A lot of money. Plus, my buyers pay on a pro account a higher buyer protection fee. Okay, so they're making a bomb off pro sellers. They're not really supporting because the story unfolds. Now, I'm just going to check my notes because I don't want to really miss anything. They also, on a pro account, hold your money for 14 days because buyers, I have no problem again with this, have a right to return, and they receive your item, and on personal Vinted, no problems, they click no problems and your money gets released out. On Pro, you have to wait 14 days. So buyers get a cooling off period of 14 days. And at the end of that 14 days, they then have to click that everything's okay. And the money goes into your available to withdraw balance. So you've got a lot sitting there pending. that hasn't cleared, and then you have the available to withdraw stuff coming through as well. So similar to what you get on the personal account. Now, I will also say a couple of things have happened while I've been on Pro that have been really irritating. And one is that because a buyer can return, they can return just because they don't like something. Whereas on your personal account, it has to be because the items are described and you have no choice but to accept it back. So I had a £25 sale of some miniature brass animals, and the lady received it and she basically messaged me and said, my son doesn't like them. I just have to accept that return. She sends that back to me. She pays the postage because I've got that in my policy, and then she'll get her refund when I get that back. Okay, yeah, so easy to just send stuff back with no quibble because she didn't like it. Yeah, okay. Think what you will of that. And then also, we've had a lot on Vinted recently of people not getting their parcels because there's been a massive mess up with every and impost. I think this has affected everybody on Vinted. But I've had 3 people whose parcels have come back to me and they've all messaged saying, I didn't get the notifications about this. Now, I think that's a parcel issue. So I have said, no problem, when it comes back to me, I'll re-upload it. Oh, there's no re-upload. There's no re-upload. I have not found the re-upload button at all. So the order gets cancelled, it's not there. There was another lady cancelled a painting. She just changed her mind, cancelled it. I hadn't sent it, but it went up on my Vinted Pro as sold, and then no re-upload. And it's still showing as sold, even though it's cancelled and she's been refunded. So I messaged them and I said, where's the re-upload button? It's gone. Like, I've used that on personal account. And the reply was, if there's no re-upload button, you need to do a fresh listing and start again. Okay. But I can't use the photographs I took before because they get spat back because they think that you're copying somebody's listing. So I've had to get the items, do all fresh, like, oh my God, I'm done. So this was all kind of happening and I was getting a little bit frustrated with it. It's energy, it's a lot of effort, Vinted, and the messages and the offers and all of that stuff keeps your wheel turning, and you've got to be doing that every day to make a success of it. It's actually pretty exhausting. I know the time. If I put that time into our antiques pitch at Harrison's and we went over there for the day instead and did a lot of work on setting our pitch and reorganising and restocking and all of that, we would make more money from that than we would from doing our offers and faffing about on Vinted all day. So I was starting to feel a little bit frustrated with it all. Then, last week, there was a massive payment fiasco on Vinted, and I'm sure if you're a Vinted seller, you will have been affected, where we all got this message every day saying, there are payment issues, sorry, your money will be with you soon, da-di-da-di-da. So I've waited 14 days for a lot of my sales to clear, and then suddenly there's a payment issue and there's nothing coming into my available balance. Right, that's happening to everybody. I thought, okay, they'll sort it out. It's a glitch. I'll just live with that. As soon as it becomes available, I'll get my money. Then, during that process, I got a notification saying some of my money had cashed out, like into available. I think it was almost £200 that dripped in during that day. And at the end of the day, I drew it all out. Great. We're back on track here. This is fine, right? No problem. It's okay. The next day, I woke up. £16 had become available, just 1/6 sitting there in the morning. I thought, I'm getting this out quickly. I'm not waiting till the end of the day. I'm just going to keep getting my money out now because I don't trust them. Somebody on Instagram said, it's so funny, it's like having a really irrational boss who you wake up and you don't know whether you're going to get paid that day, depending on their mood. So true, so true. That really made me laugh. But this £16, I thought, I'm having it. So I clicked on withdraw to get my money into my account, and it came back with a block, and it said, we are temporarily suspending your account because you have reached your payment limit. What? This was now new to me. I have reached my payment limit. The money that's mine, that you've been sitting on now for 3-4 weeks, well, 2 weeks with the 14 days and then a week of this payment fiasco, so 3 weeks. And at that point, there's like hundreds of pounds sitting there, and I'm thinking, this is absolutely nonsense. I can't get to this money. I've already lost all my August income, pretty much lost September because the sales I made I didn't get paid for because of the 14-day thing. So I won't start getting paid till the end of September by Vinted. Yeah, and now you've reached a payment limit. You need to re-upload all of your ID documents. We're running some checks on you. Oh my God, what? So, passport, tax documents, back to square one, back where I was in July. I am now fuming. I have to comply to get my money out. Okay, go through the whole rigmarole again. I sent in exactly the same documents that I sent in last time. At this point, Mark and I are having a massive conversation about this is not sustainable. It's actually stressful. I did a little something on Instagram. I had so many messages, people losing sleep because they've not got their money on the payment fiasco thing. Then there's all this if you're pro as well to deal with. This is not good. If I shopped in Marks and Spencer's and had a really shitty experience with a sales assistant, you would maybe make a complaint, you would maybe get some sort of compensation, they would bend over backwards to help you, and you might go back, but then you might not. I wouldn't. If I had a bad experience at a garage with my car, I wouldn't go back. And here I am in a situation where I want to leave now. I just want my money and I want out because it's a glaring sign, like the most glaring sign that I have to change path, that this is no longer for me, that I have outgrown this model of sin. Just isn't my thing. It hasn't been my thing since July. I should have listened to the sign then. But what do you do when you're making good money on a platform and you don't want to risk your financial security? Well, not security, nothing's secure, but you don't want to risk that loss. You don't want to take that loss. But I'm done. I'm totally done. So I sent in the same documents, and then yesterday I got back, sorry, this has not been accepted. What? What do you want from me? You've literally got everything. They have all my details. Vinted, Lithuanian, Mangopay's in Luxembourg. Where's all my stuff? This surely can't be legal. So I've got the email address for Mangopay. I have the legal email address for Vinted. I will put those in the description. And we need to absolutely bombard them if we are in any kind of financial facing any kind of financial pressure. But the problem we have is Vinted blame Mangopay, Mangopay blame Vinted. Like, I've read so many forums and so many things about it, and I'm literally done. All I want is my money out, and I'm closing down. I already sell on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. Those are my two main other platforms. I have done Depop and I have done Etsy, but I got fed up of Etsy last year. If you followed me, you'll know about that fiasco as well, and they're not great. Okay, yes, you can put your items on and list it for more money to take account of the fees. I get all of that, but they also withheld my money last year and put a block on my account, which had happened to quite a few of us at the time. Yeah, I just want to take control. Because this is my business, this is my livelihood. I have run my own business for 10 years and I've never been at the mercy of providers and platforms who do not support you. So for 10 years, I ran my business on Kajabi, online courses, programs, training in coaching, self-development. Absolutely brilliant. You get what you pay for. It was amazing. And I'm hoping at some point I will move all of my work on here, my coaching, my programs that I deliver about setting up your business and reselling, we'll move on to that platform in the future. But you don't put up with it if it's rubbish. You do a trial of these platforms, and if they're no good, ditch them. So I'm ditching them. And we are going to build our own website. You'll know, if you followed me for a while, I've had the domain name from day one. I bought it straight away with the very strong focus that one day this was going to be our brand, our thing. We now have our pitch. We've got the website, domain name. I've got a really lovely community of people. I have the followers on Vinted. I have a mailing list. There's quite a lot there. We can build on all of that and launch our own website. And the model for that is something that we're just working out at the moment, how we're going to run it. But I will carry on eBay and Facebook in the interim. And I will be putting much more energy into our pitch, which, if you followed again, is an hour and a half away from us at the moment, but we're moving house and we're going to be 20 minutes away. So the sooner we can get moved and get over there, that's where our energy is going to go. And we'll be doing a lot more face-to-face interaction with customers. We just did our first fair, absolutely loved it. And there'll be more of that. We have the stock, we have the kind of ability to do that. We've invested in all of that stuff. So yeah, it's just time. As it stands at the moment, I just need to get this money out, battle with them, and go and deal with the issues that I've got around all of that. I would love to know your story. I would love to know how you feel. As I said at the start, I'm not advocating that you just go and ditch Vinted just because I am. It is very personal, and I have got backup. I've got other things. Mark is brilliant on the website. He's going to be able to do all of that. The SEO stuff, he's very comfortable with it. It is a financial commitment as well to pay for a website. So, you know, it is what it is. But you need to really keep your eye on these platforms, and you need to stand up if you are feeling mistreated, if you're feeling that it's actually getting quite exhausting. It's a brilliant selling platform on the whole, like the principle, the simplicity of it, but it's also a really exhausting business model. You've got to be on there sending out those offers and sending out those messages and doing all of that all day long, like glued to your phone. Nah, I'm 53. I actually want a simple life. I want things to just be a little bit more under our control. Yeah. Okay, I've said my piece. I've got it off my chair. It was an episode that I just felt really strongly about getting out, and I really would love to know your experiences. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to take you on the journey of how it all unfolds. We'll share with you the information about the website and what we learn from doing that. I won't be gatekeeping any of the information about audience building, etc., etc. There are loads of ways you can work with me. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's @true.north.vintage. There's a Facebook group. I'll pop it in the comments. You can join for free, but I also have a paid members group. You can join that for £9.99 one-off fee. You access my 14-day program to get started, which actually focuses on eBay, and you'll get to join in my live calls, and I'm in that group helping all of the time as well. So I'll link everything below, and let's just see where this next chapter takes us. I'm gonna embrace it. I'm excited, and I'm not going to worry too much about the lost income and the risk at this point in time. I'm going to go and throw myself into other things. Loads of love. Thanks for watching. Catch up soon.